All right, welcome. Since this is the second anniversary of Genshin Impact, I thought I would make a little tier list of the characters that I have, but also with some commentary on the upcoming characters, because I thought that there's many new people coming into Genshin, and there's tons of characters to choose from at this point. So it might be useful for somebody new to get perspective from someone who's been playing the game since day one on how they feel about the individual characters. And I would like to say that this is my personal opinion. This is very subjective, so take it with a grain of salt. And yeah, don't be too harsh in the comments. Thank you. All right, so let's get started then with Albedo in the first place. And oh yeah, before I start, let's explain the categories that I made here a little bit. So Triple Crown, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? That's the character that you definitely want when it comes up. That's you could also name it like must pull, right? Very nice is just below that. Is just like it's a very nice character. It's totally worth it to invest in it and spend all your resources to level it up and then farm for the artifacts and give it like your best weapon and stuff, and you will use those characters in your teams eventually, like when the time arises for that specific use, or you want to play a specific team, they will be there for you. Okay, can be useful is kind of the same thing, except this is a lower category. This is the characters that you won't necessarily level up. They will be in your portfolio of characters. You will be happy when you get them, when you pull them. You'll be like, yay, cool, I didn't have this one. But you won't be leveling it up like right away. It's not a priority. It's something that could over time, maybe, like if there's like a specific use that you're looking for, like you can always come back to it. And then we have don't. That's simple. That's just do not even bother. Like it's not worth your primo gems. It's not worth your resources. It's not worth your time. Your leveling up. Farming artifacts. It's just not worth it. The character is underdeveloped, whether it's just by design or like it's unconsciously. It doesn't matter. It's just the it won't stop you from finishing the game if you're like a casual player. So by all means, you can use all the characters that are in this game. It's just that it will be harder. It will be harder for you to progress in, especially in certain key areas or like events that are like harder and stuff. And then we have the question mark, which will be characters that either I do not have or I don't know a lot about or like that are upcoming. Okay, so Albedo can be useful. Okay, he's not a bad character. But he's not the greatest. He's like the perfect representation of this category. Meaning that he you let's say I can envision if I wanted like a geo team, if I wasn't a geo and I would like to build a geo team, I would pick him up, and he might even be my main at that point. I don't know, but for now he's only I haven't I don't even have him, but I even if I pulled him, I wouldn't level him up because I don't have a use for him yet. But he can be useful because I mean he has some strong capabilities. It's just that not for now, and not that amazing. They're not like super fucking cool. Okay, then we have what's her name? I even forgot what how she's called, but she doesn't belong in Genshin. Like she's just let's forget about her, right? Don't even bother. You know. Okay, Amber. Poor Amber. Oh my God, how Hoyo first did Amber wrong. It's their main poster girl when you look at Twitch. This is Amber is on the cover of Genshin, right? Yet she's one of the lowest rated characters in the game, and rightfully so. She's very weak because she was designed in such a way so that you would actually end up spending money because you would want stronger characters, and those 5-star do cost money or your time. They will be they are all better than her. So if you are a new player, she might be good for like a certain period, and you can level her, like, let's say, to like level 60 or 70 or something like that, or maybe even 80. And but don't bother like going any further. You don't need to like grind her out. Like you will use her, and eventually you will switch up to something like Shanling or one of the 5-star pyro characters because they're just better. I really like her design though. Her design is beautiful. So if you like it too, definitely play her. And she's definitely going above this one. Okay. Ayaka. Oh my God, Ayaka. That's not even a question. That's Triple Crown right away. This is one of those characters that when you test in the in the testing thing that you can, like, in the little demo that you get, and with every new character, this is one of those characters that clears that room in like a few seconds and has absolutely no problem doing so. And that's how I actually pick characters, is through that testing room. That very simple testing room shows you very clearly which characters are strong and which characters are not. And she's one of those that it's so fucking obvious when you pick her, when you play with her, that she's strong. There's no debate. You just go and you pull for her, and she's one of the best characters in the game, basically. And she looks beautiful as well. Her design is like immaculate. All right, Barbara, one of the first characters that you'll get for free as well. Very good healer, very useful early game, and practically will help you get through all the content in the game if you don't have like any special healers that are better than her. And she's used to this day, like in Spiral Abyss, for people who don't have Kokomi. And great character. Actually, can be. I would put her in very nice, but there are better characters that eventually will top her. So that's the only reason that I'm putting her in can be useful, because she also lacks like a skill. She only, her kit is very very small basically compared to others. Very limited use. I mean, very limited gameplay sort of thing. And also she gets frozen a lot when you use her E skill. You will get frozen quite a bit. All right, so next up we have Beidou, and I haven't played with her. I have her, I think C3 or something, but I haven't leveled her up. So I don't know yet. I heard she's good. I mean, at least she used to be good, and I don't know if she wasn't surpassed basically by some of the newer electro characters, but I've seen like she's often like referred in some compositions of team comps that like specifically require her. So I will put in I will put her in can be useful. Okay, Bennett. That's a favorite of a lot of people. Not me, because I don't even have him, and I didn't even buy him when he was in the shop, because I just don't like his design. Very simple. And he's a male character. I don't specifically go after those. So he's very nice, and I don't know much about him, but I feel like he's a little bit overrated by the community, especially people like the free to play players tend to over exaggerate the skills or like the kits of some of the 4-star characters. I feel like, and I'm a free to play player as well. I haven't spent a single dime in the game, and I feel like he's overrated, just as Kaching is over. I mean, yeah, Kaching is overrated. Sorry. What's her name? Oh my god. Fischl, right? Fischl's overrated as well, in my opinion. Okay, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that later on. This is dude. I don't even know their names, like, because I don't care about these male characters. I'm sorry, you know. So this cryo dude is just like, it's just don't, it's above here, but he's it's a 4-star cryo character that's just early game material. Like, level this guy up only if you like his design. If you're like into this design, and or you like claymores, then go ahead. Or you need a cryo character and you don't have a cryo character, then it might be useful. But then again, there's like way better cryo characters that are coming up. So for now, just don't. All right, D-Luke. D-Luke's very nice. I got him. I haven't leveled him up because I have lots of better pyro characters. I mean, namely Hu Tao, which once you have Hu Tao, you don't need anything else basically, any other pyro. So yeah, I mean, if you don't have Hu Tao, then he's great, and he's very easy to use as well. He has a good nuke. Very nice, very nice. Diona, also very nice, very good healer, very versatile. You have lots of different options in her kit. You can, she's kind of easy to build. There's like, you can slap any kind of artifacts on her pretty much, and any kind of bow, and she'll work just fine. Very nice character, very very useful. Eula is pretty strong. Is also one of the strongest characters in the game. She has physical damage though, and I don't feel like physical is really the way to go in Genshin Impact, because Genshin is all about reactions, and you won't see reactions from her. So I don't know. I don't have her. I haven't played with her. I don't even really like her design, to be honest, except like the thighs maybe, but other than that, she's kind of a bold woman and not really my style. Also, like her personality sucks, like in the story. So, yeah, that's she's very nice if you like physical damage characters. Then she's basically your best option in the game. That's why I put her so high up in the tier list. Then we have Yanfei. Yanfei is just don't at this point. Although, if you don't have a better pyro character, or like, you don't have a choice, or you really like her design, she actually can be useful as a pyro character. So I've seen some nice videos with her. If you give her enough time, I'm sure she can shine. Just don't expect her to be on the levels of the 5 stars. That's all. Like when you level her up, just lower your expectations a little bit and you'll be fine. Official. Now, there we go. Official. Official is, I believe, and please, if you're a fanboy or official or like you disagree with this, like it's totally fine. This is just my personal opinion, okay? Don't get mad. I feel like she's one of the most overrated characters in the game because when you compare her, like I'm speaking as someone who has Yayamiko at the highest level, and like when I saw Yayamiko, I had to have her, and I knew she was one of the greatest characters in the game. And people, I seen tons of misinformation videos on Genshin, to be honest, and I'm kind of pissed about it. And that's one of the reasons why I started making this tier list as well, was that they're just, lots of people are selling Genshin, are selling, sorry, Fischl as like the savior character, like one of the best characters in the game. Like she's like a hidden 5 star and stuff. And while I agree that she's very strong and she is one of the strongest 4 stars in the game, she is nowhere near. Listen to me carefully. She is nowhere near as strong as Yaemiko. Okay, and I will explain when we get to Yaemiko why she is so strong compared to Fischl. Fischl just isn't. If you are a starting player, a new player, and you don't have a lot of characters, and Fischl comes up your way, she will be a big boost. Okay, and you might not understand what I'm saying here. But once you get to the top levels, once you have like all, most of the 5 star characters, and you have a choice, like all your teams can be like 5 star only, you start to understand why those 5 stars are actually 5 stars. Like it's no coincidence that Hoyoverse label them that way, and that there is actually a differentiation between the two categories, right? And Fischl is a great example of that. She's very strong, but she's a very strong 4 star character. She's not a 5 star character. That's where like she has a skill ceiling. The first thing I'll just say is that, for example, her Raven, while it has a higher fire rate than Yaemiko's, it has lower damage. But also, and most importantly, it has very short range. Very short. Yaemiko, you put the pillars down, you can blast anything around the map, like anywhere. It goes like super far. With her bird, he doesn't. The bird he's like 10 meters at most, and that's all you're gonna get. You will have to like place him again, and And she's kind of, the only better thing that she does than Yayamiko is that you can swap her way faster in the teams. But then again, she will do less damage, and you will have to swap her more often than Yayamiko. Yayamiko's pillars just will stay longer on the field, and you won't have to swap as much. And plus, she has a great nuke as ultimate. Her ultimate is way stronger than Fischl as well. So Fischl is at the top of can be very useful, you know. She can be very useful, but there's just better characters, okay? Okay, to not piss off the people that are like, I could put her in very nice. I could put her there. But I feel like she belongs at the top of this because she's basically representing like one of the strongest options of these, Okay. And let's move on. Let's move on. Ganyu. This is an easy one. Ganyu is triple crowned. One of the best characters in the game as well. I wasn't thinking. I didn't think that when I first pulled her. I mean, I played her like crazy. She was on my team for like months, but I basically got kind of bored of her because she has like this one-sided playstyle when you main her. And now I'm actually rediscovering her in a new team composition as a support. And I'm realizing that she's actually an amazing sub DPS slash support and reaction maker. Her Q is just fucking amazing. It lasts super long, is super large, and it does a ton of damage and tons of reactions. So, no questions about it. She's one of the best characters in the game. Alright, next up we have Goro. This one I have absolutely no idea. When he came out, I have no interest in him. I have no interest in him now. He's a Geo, so I have no interest in Geo. He's male. I don't have interest in males. He's a furry. I don't have interest in furry. So, like, that's just a big pass for me. Sorry. Alright, so next up we have Hu Tao. I mean, this is very easy, very simple. Hu Tao is one of the strongest characters in the game as well. These three, like, you could put them in any order, basically. This is just a matter of preference, the order in which you put them in. Hu Tao, I think, would be the strongest just because she has a nuke as her Q as a nuke, so she will do the biggest numbers. And also she's Pyro, and Pyro is just overall stronger than Cryo in terms of reactions. It will melt, and vaporize like crazy. So it's just stronger, more use basically than the Cryo one, unless you have, of course, like your team is somehow combined with those two. All right, moving on. These are just like must picks, right? When you see these, you pick them. You pull, you pull, you pull. Okay, next up, Ito. I have no idea, and once again, he's Geo, so that's not my. I don't like Geo because Geo doesn't do reactions, and I'm all about reactions. So I don't know. I have no clue. He's very strong. He's one of the strongest characters in the game. So actually, I know that he's strong, and I tested him, and he's very nice. but I would put him like next to Eula. Like this is depending on what you prefer. Like you prefer Geo or you prefer physical. This is what you pick, right? When you want like a strong physical damage character. These are your options right there. I mean, physical in the terms of like he does his damage like physically, right? Despite having the geo element on him. Okay, next up, Kaya. This is one of the starting characters. You don't need to level this. This is very, you know, early game stuff. Only if you really like him, there's better cryo characters. This is just a waste of resources, you know. And since the resources are very valuable in Genshin Impact, you don't want to waste it on characters that won't help you in the long run, you know. Because once you have, you will, the thing you have to understand that you will be playing Genshin long enough to get all the good characters that you want, you know, the 5-star that you wanted from the beginning. When you start, it might seem impossible and unreachable. You might be like, "Oh, I'll never get that character because I'm a free-to-play player." That's not true. You will get plenty of if you play every day and do your dailies and do all the events and everything like that. You know, you clear all the content that's in the game. You will get to choose your characters that you really like, and you will get to build your preferred team. So just be a little patient and save up for what you like. All right. Next up, we have Kazuha. Very easy, very simple. One of the strongest characters in the game. Once again, can be put anywhere here. Usually, you see him at the very top, just because you can. The thing is that you can put him in any team. These are kind of specific. You have to either build a team around them or put them in teams that require them, need them in some way, need their capabilities. Whereas Kazuha, you can just slap him in any team whatsoever. You put him on fourth position, and you just press 4 and do his E, do his Q, and he will do the job for any team. It doesn't matter. You don't have to think. You just put him in, and that's it. I have him built on. He has like over 1,000 elemental mastery. That's how you want to build him with a Viridescent Venera set, and that's it. He even has the free-to-play weapon, the craftable. That's all you with the elemental mastery, and that's all you need. Really, you don't need much. He's very easy to build as well. That's very free-to-play friendly, and this is like the must pull for any Genshin player. That's a little bit serious about the game. Kazuha is. If I had to pick like one singular character that's like a must pull for any type of Genshin enjoyer, right? It doesn't like not just for myself, like my personal pick might be different, but for like a general, like any type of player, basically, whatever elements is your preference, whatever elements you like to play, Kazuha will help your team. He will boost it. Okay, so that would be the number one pick of all. Okay, next up we have Kaching, a very popular character, very beloved by the entire community, and rightfully so. She's very beautiful and has a great personality in the game as well. And she's very cute, and her gameplay as well is very unique. And one thing people have to remember as well is that when Genshin was new, and was like, completely fresh, just a couple of days out, Kaching was like the best character. She was like the dream character that everybody wanted, because she was the first, like, she was on the main banner. She was like the biggest girl there, and she was like the main attraction to pull, basically. Nowadays, that's kind of forgotten since her kid isn't that great compared to other characters, and and she didn't really age that well. Let's put it that way. But with Dendro that came up lately in 3.0, she actually became better. All the Electro characters became better. So I would actually put her in at the top of can be useful here, maybe, um, because actually, you know what? Let me put her in very nice, at the bottom of very nice, because she represents basically the opposite of what Fischl represents. Fischl represents, she's like the best character of the lower rated characters, I would say, and Kitching is like the worst character of all the high rated characters, kind of thing. But as I said, this can also change with like new elements and new characters that come into game that can like complement each other in certain ways, and that brings up new ways to play Genshin, and sometimes old characters that weren't as good become good. So that's Kaching. Then we have Klee. Klee, I never played. I mean, I played her in the testing things and like in different sort of events, and she's actually pretty strong. But she isn't as strong as she used to be. I think she, she kind of fell off a little bit. She's like the second release character, if I'm correct. I think like the first one was Venti, and then it was Klee, right? So she suffers kind of the same thing as Venti. That there's just better characters. Like power creep came, and instead of Venti, you just take Kazuha, and instead of Klee, you just pick up Hu Tao. It's as simple as that. But then again, if you like her design and you like the way she plays, then by all means, she can be very useful. So I'll put her right above Albedo. And now we have Kokomi. Oh my god, Kokomi. This character is one of the most controversial characters in the entire game and in the entire history of Genshin. She was regarded as the worst 5-star to ever be released in the game when she came out. She has one of the worst, her banner is one of the worst sales ever. Like, nobody touched that banner. Nobody wanted her. Okay? And I actually tried to pull for her. I wasn't impressed with her, but when Raiden and Kokomi were like the new stuff, I actually wanted Kokomi more for some reason. I didn't really get into the Raiden Shogun hype, and I was kind of more attracted to Kokomi because I felt like she had something special. She had something different. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of primos back then because I just had spent a lot of primos on my Ayaka, and also getting her first constellation, which is very useful. So I had spent like over 25k primos at that time, I think. And I was completely empty because I was saving for Yaika for like a whole year. Okay, so all of that was gone, and I just tried to get her if I could pull her, but unfortunately that didn't happen back then. And frankly, I was kind of disappointed. I really wanted her. I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get her. Luckily for me, there were reruns, right? The reruns started happening, and she actually was in the banners like recently, and I totally did pull for her. Like I totally wanted her, and I aggressively pulled her for her, and got her pretty soon, like just a couple of pulls after losing my 50-50, which was nice. So basically I got two 5-star characters out of this banner. That's I was pretty happy with that. And at first, like I really wanted her because she's a healer. She's a 5-star healer, and I didn't have I mean, I only had one 5-star healer, which is Jean, but I wanted another one for Spyler Abyss because you need two, right? You need to make two teams, and my second team was lacking a good healer. So that was my main idea, my main thinking behind this was that let's get a healer, because I need one. And I really didn't think much like besides that. Like that was it was just basically to fulfill a role, and I knew she was one of the best healers in the game, so I was like, okay, I need a healer, let's get her, right? She will be useful. And to my surprise, and I feel like this is something that nobody can understand unless they actually get her, is that Kokomi, in my opinion, my personal opinion, okay, is actually one of the strongest, okay, characters in the game, even above Kazuha. Okay? For one simple reason, she can heal. He can't. Okay? She can do more than he can. He's stronger, but she's more versatile. She is like basically the perfect Genshin character in terms of gameplay. You can build a team around her, and it's seamless. It's so easy to do, and it's so like she's so graceful when you play her. There's like little perks that aren't mentioned in the game that people forget about. Stuff like she doesn't get knocked back when enemies attack her and she's in a state of attacking, because she does these backflips and the enemies just go through it. It's just she works in a similar way as Xingqiu. That's why he's one of the strongest 4-stars. He cannot get hit. He has these invincibility frames when he activates his skills. And when you're a more seasoned player, you can actually use these skills to evade attacks from enemies. And it's the most rewarding gameplay, basically, that you get. And she works the same way. She has a very similar way. I mean, she has even more invincibility frames than him. With her, you just basically spam her attacks, and you will be untouchable. You cannot do that with any of the other characters. Even the strongest characters in the game, you will have to dodge at some point, and you will have to dodge quite often, actually. Not with her. Not with her. She is insane. She is so fucking amazing. But you won't believe that. Even if I was talking about it for 3 hours, it doesn't matter. 20 people can tell you that she's the best. It does not matter until you get her and play with her and understand how her kit works and how well she integrates and synergizes with the other team members. You will not know. You will not know. She is my main now. She became my main and she will remain my main until like there is a better character in the game, which I don't believe there will be ever. Probably. I don't know. There is a reason why they nerfed her so fucking hard. They removed her crit rate. They actually removed her crit rate because that's how strong she is. If she had her crit rate, if they didn't touch her crit rate, right? The way how much stronger she would be, like would be like 1 to 100. Like there would be the difference would be just insane. Like you would basically be doing like 50 to 100k attacks on every like normal attack if you could build her with crit. Like believe me, she would be completely insanely broken, right? So they had to put this nerf. And imagine that even after putting this huge nerf on her, she is still the strongest. How crazy is that? She's just she's the best character in the game. Period. And just get her. Like the just get her. Like once you see Kokomi again, you have to pull for her. Unless you have like already like 3 4 healers that are fully leveled up and you really don't need and you even have Mona, like you don't need another Hydro or whatever, like unless you have like but even then I would argue to actually get her and you will forget about all of your previous healers. Believe me. Believe me. Okay, let's move on because I could be talking about Kokomi like the entire day. That's how good she is. Okay, Lisa. Don't. Kind of useless. You know, very, very early game material. These characters, it's not that they're bad or anything, it's just that they're early game and you don't want to waste your resources on them. Mona, however, from the standard banner, is actually one of the strongest characters in the game as well. She's not at the top. She's missing some little things here and there, but she is worthy of triple crowning her and putting all your resources to level her up. She will make your account way better. All your teams will benefit from her skills. She's fun to play. She has that traveling thing, makes it easier. She has some other perks with like crafting and stuff like that. Amazing character. A beautiful design as well. Amazingly beautiful design. One of the prettiest designs in the game as well. Forgot to mention that about Kokomi. Not only she's the strongest character in the game, but she also looks absolutely gorgeous. Her kit, when she's just standing there, you can just look for hours. She's gorgeous. And same goes with Mona, same goes with Ayaka, even Hu Tao and Ganyu, like these are all gorgeous. Another gorgeous character, Ningguang. Unfortunately not as strong and That's a shame because I really wanted to level her up because of her looks. And yeah, so still can be useful, just not quite there, you know. Only if you really like the design and you don't have better characters to level up, I would say go for it. Okay. Noel, a very early character, early game, very strong. This is one of those characters that actually carried me to the highest levels, like let's say like rank 55, the AR 55, and strong shield, very good healing. She can also do damage. Basically, unkillable character. Like I would say one of the strong, if not the strongest characters in terms of survivability. Maybe except Kokomi. Like Kokomi, you cannot kill either way. Anyway, but Noelle with her shield on is very strong as well, and she works off of defense. So you even have that on top, even when you don't have the shield. So like she can withstand tons and tons of damage. Like imagine those big stomping bosses. She can just lay down there like under them and not give a damn, right? So if you like characters like that, I would certainly recommend you leveling her. Very useful character. I would actually put her somewhere in here, let's say above Barbara. Okay. Very pretty useful, especially early game, right? The more later in the game you will be, the less use you will find because she's kind of a solo, but very useful healing. If you don't have the better healers, Noel is definitely one to pick. And also can be very useful if you're building like a full Geo team, right? She will be your Geo healer, as I believe she's the only Geo healer in the game at this point. Okay, next we have Jean, my first 5-star healer. Very good character. Beautiful design, very simple kit. Can seem kind of underwhelming at first glance when you don't know her, like, and how she plays. Can feel a little bit underwhelming, but once you get her, she's basically like a mini Kazuha. That's how I call her. She's like, when you don't have Kazuha, she will basically fulfill his role in a sense. The same way you could say Sucrose or Venti could do, but she heals. And her Q that heals is actually a pretty good damage dealer. It will like reduce the shield and of the enemies and stuff, like with your artifact set as well. So very good character, heals a lot, is strong. You can lift enemies as well when you hold E. You can do some shenanigans with her E skill. That's very fun actually. That's also like very unique in the game. So she belongs in very nice, I feel like. I would put her somewhere around here in the very nice category. Maybe even above Eula actually. Because she's very useful. She like if like the way this tier list is made, okay, you have to understand first of all, again, this is subjective, this is my opinion, but the way I'm making this tier list is like, let's say someone comes up to me and doesn't have any, he's just starting with Genshin and would have to pick between one of these two characters, like which one I would recommend him as a new player. I would certainly recommend him to get Jean first, right? Because she's a character that you will get way more use from than a character like Eula. Despite her being stronger, right, in DPS and like, you know, of course it depends on like your account, but if you're starting up and you don't have characters, Jean is definitely the better pick for your account. Okay, Chi-Chi. I never played Chi-Chi. I don't have Chi-Chi. I don't know Chi-Chi. But she's, I believe, the one of the lowest rated 5-star characters. So I guess just don't, you know, because why would you when there's like tons of better characters? I hope that one day Hoyoverse will actually like rework some of these characters and maybe upgrade their kits a little bit so they become more relevant down the line. That would be really nice. All right, moving on to Razor. I don't know Razor. I don't have Razor, but I believe he's one of the lowest rated characters as well. So just don't bother, don't waste your time on him unless you really like, again, his design. Rosaria, the cryo character. I have no clue about this one, to be completely honest. I don't know. I just never really was attracted to this design or like to her personality in the game or whatever. Like, I had already had a Yaka when she came out, and I feel, or like, not when she came out, but like I already had her, and I wanted her. So there's just not many. There wasn't anything that would like attract me, even in her kit, to be honest. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she can be good. I don't know. I've really no clue about Rosaria. So let's just put a hurry here. Um, Kujo Sara, like I don't know either. To be honest, to be completely honest, these are characters I just don't. I just didn't really feel a connection to, so I didn't really, take the time to inspect or like try or use, and it's normal. Like everybody will have that. There's some characters that you like better, some characters that you like less, and that's why there's so many characters in the game. So there's everybody can enjoy what they like. Okay, next up we have Sayu. Her I didn't play either, but I believe she's like one of the weaker characters, like just as Chi-Chi. And yeah, like let's put her somewhere around there. She's a 4-star, she's a 5-star, so let's put her in this order. Shenhe, another character I have no clue about, so I would put her actually here, but I know that she buffs cryo quite a bit, so she might actually go into the very nice category of here. And she might actually be one of the characters that I might be pulling for in the future just because of how she boosts the cryo teams. I'm not sure exactly where to put her in this. I mean, amongst these other characters here, but I believe it's pretty high up, right? I believe it's actually she should be in the higher positions here. But she still is a support, so I will keep Diluc as the main. I'm not really sure about this, so like take this with a bit of with a grain of salt. Like I don't know exactly where to put her because I never tried her, but I know she's very nice, so I don't want her to put her in this category because I can tell you that if you like cryo and you want to boost cryo, you can definitely pull for her. Okay. Next up, we have Raiden Shogun, one of, if not the most popular character in Genshin Impact. I believe her banner was the most popular by far, and also one of the strongest characters in the game. Unfortunately, there's like a catch, and that's quite literally the name of her free-to-play weapon is that you have to fish for like hundreds of hours to just get her weapon that's free to play. And she's also quite reliant on her constellations. And basically, what I'm trying to say here is that she needs a lot of investment before becoming good. So she's more like a whale character when you want her to have C6 and have her, best in slot weapon from the banner and stuff like that. And that's when she really will shine as a character. So if you're like me and you're free to play, she isn't that attractive of a character, to be honest. So for me, she's only very nice and at the top. She's a very strong, and she will be probably my next pick when she comes up. I will try to pull for her because I didn't do that even the first or the second time. Did she have a rerun? I think she had, right? I didn't pull for her. So, and if there's better characters that come up in the meantime and she has another rerun, I might not pull for her again because I just have other priorities. So you see how much I'm not interested in the best, like the most popular character in the game, just because of personal preference and my own team builds that just don't require her. And okay, so we can move to Sucrose, which is a very popular 4-star character. Very nice character, this one as well. Very strong. But this one kind of suffers a little bit like Fischl, is that once you have one of those 5-star like Kazuha or Jean, or Venti, you don't really need sucrose anymore. So I would put her in can be useful. Very strong in can be useful. So next up we have Child. This one, I don't know. He's very strong, but I have not played with him. And his kit is very, like, he's kind of complex, and it's one of those characters that you have to spend a lot of time with to like really understand and get under its skin. So like I don't know. I just don't want to really give an opinion because I cannot really tell. Toma is one of the weakest characters, so I would put him here. Although recently with Dendro, he kind of gained some relevancy, I guess, with his Pyro Shield, which is nice. So perhaps he could actually be one of the top picks from the don't category. Like if you already have all of these and you want to level up something else, then he might be one of the first picks from the lower tier. Okay, next, Venti. Venti is a very good character. His ability is very unique and very strong, which pulls enemies together and very useful for the Spiral Abyss. So I would put him in a very nice, actually, probably above above Diluc here. Again, the all pretty much all the Anemo characters follow the same rule. Once you have Kazuha, you don't need Venti. Once you have Venti, you don't need Sucrose, okay? Or vice, like, once you have Gene, you don't need Sucrose. Once you have Venti, you don't need Gene. Or once you have Gene, you don't need Venti. And so on, still Kazuha being the strongest of them, of those four, right? So, yeah. Next up, Shanling, very popular 4-star once again, and one of the strongest 4-star early game 4-stars that you will get for free. And he's still used to this day in the Spiral Abyss. Very, very nice character. As a 4-star, you can use her basically forever. So I would put her probably at the end of this very nice, probably actually above Kaching. Let's be honest, because you will get more use out of her than Kaching in the end. Next up, Shao, very single player focused character, very solo like. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely your character to pick. If you're like me and you prefer the team synergies and swapping a lot, then don't pick him. And basically, I would put him at the top of this category here. Okay. Next up, we have Xingqiu. Okay, Xingqiu is one of the best 4-star characters in the game. Probably the strongest 4-star support. And the only 4-star that I actually double crowned. Okay. I haven't crowned a single 4-star except I think Shanling. I did level Shanling. I did put her crown her, but I did put 2 on him because that's how strong he is. And this is like almost same thing as Kazuha. If you're like a new player and if I had to recommend like the really like the top characters that you must have as first, if you don't have any, would be Kazuha and Xingqiu as well, as a 4-star variant of this. Very versatile. You can put him in any team. He will work. His kit is just super versatile. Very easy to use. You put the sack sword on him, and you basically have his E twice available, and his Q there for all the time. Very, very, very strong. And I would actually put him above Venti here, because that's how strong this character is. Like, the difference here is very, very subjective, and you have to think like, do you already have Kazuha? Then this is above. Do you not have Kazuha? Then this might be above, it really depends. So I'll put it below just because he's a 4-star and he has some limitations. Please keep that in mind. All 4-stars have a limitation. The more you play Genshin, the more you will understand why 4-stars are labeled as 4-stars. Moving on to the next 4-star, one of the weakest ones in the game as well. This one I don't know a lot about, but I would put her as well, like in the lower tier, somewhere around this vicinity here, among these other 4-star characters. And next up, one of my favorite characters in the game, Yaemiko. And another very underrated characters, I feel like, because people didn't really understand her kid and were complaining about how she played and that she takes too long to deploy her pillars and stuff. But the thing you have to understand is that she has one of the strongest E in the game. Like her E skill is almost as strong as an ultimate. And it's free. You can spam it all the time. You can just put it out and you don't even need to be on the field. Like she does crazy amount of damage and you're playing with your other three characters and her pillars are doing the work. They have incredible range compared to someone like Fischl. They have incredible strength. They can one-shot big enemies. When you get crit, when you have tons of crit damage, and if you do a reaction to boot, oh my god, it's almost like an ultimate. Believe me, like her pillars can get so strong. You do like 30, 25k damage on each pillar every time, which is crazy, right? And I've seen numbers as big as like 38k in my case. And I repeat, I'm 100% free to play. So I'm sure you can go even higher than that. And that's crazy for an auto attack. I mean, for an attack that's just like there, you don't even need to be on the field, and it does that all the time for like 15 seconds or how long it lasts. That's so strong. People didn't realize that when she came out, just because she was a little bit clunky to play. But once you get used to her, her E is actually very useful in even in dodging. You can use her E to dodge attacks, which is crazy. Amazing kit, very underrated just because it's very different from all the other characters. She has a very unique playstyle, but she fits perfectly in some teams. Like when you need the electro reaction, she's basically your best pick. And what will surprise you is that she actually even has very strong like normal attacks and charged attacks. That's why I triple crowned her, because she's insane. Like you can use her as your main DPS if you build a team around her. That way you can completely use her. Super strong character, very underrated, and for me, one of the best characters in the game, just as well as all of these up here. Okay? Very strong, and personally, I would even put her above Ganyu because of how more versatile she is, you know. And her Q is stronger. Like you can do a bigger nuke than with Ganyu. Ganyu has a charge attack. Like she is the if you want like a main DPS, she will be clunkier to play than her. And not meaning that she has to be a main DPS, but if I had to pick between those two, I would probably pick Yaemiko because I already have another cryo, right? So I would put this in this order. All right, another underrated character that was misunderstood when she came out because she does a thing very specifically, and the thing that she does specifically, she does very well. But of course, then she lacks in some other areas a little bit. and that's Yoimiya. Very strong. One of the strongest characters in terms of single normal attacks because she delivers speed. She has very high attack speed. Very nice character. And personally, I would actually put her on top of the list of very nice here because she can deliver tons and tons of damage. You can clear bosses and stuff like that with her like very easily. I feel like maybe she should be here because Raiden is very strong, very strong. When you build her, when you have her like at max, she will be eventually stronger than Yoimiya. So this is basically just a matter of preference here, right? Personally, for me, I would choose Yoimiya. Even if I had to choose again, I would choose Yoimiya again. I prefer her playstyle. I prefer her design. I prefer her kit. She looks very good with the bow. She has beautiful animations. One of the, along with Kokumi, one of the prettiest animations in the game, actually. When you keep shooting her normal attacks, she does these backflips and like pirouettes in the air. It's amazing. It's mesmerizing. It's beautiful. Gorgeous animation, even standing still, gorgeous animations. I am I'm leaving her on the top spot in this category. Get mad. Okay. Next up we have Eugene, which I have not played, but I heard good things about if you want to support someone like Yoimiya, for example. Okay? And can be very useful, actually. So we might put her somewhere around here. I don't know exactly where because, as I said, I haven't tried her, but let's say we put her above Noelle here. Okay, Zhongli, very popular character, probably the second most popular character after Raiden Shogun, I believe, at least from the male characters. And I don't have him. Didn't really play with him, but I'm not really a fan of him, except the shield, which I got by using Noel, and I didn't really find a good use, especially when they introduced the dogs. Yeah, he used to be very strong, and now he's just strong. Like still a very good pull. Don't get me wrong, still a very good pull. Just not my personal pick when it comes down to pulling. He would definitely be on the last position on my list. So still very nice. I'm just thinking like where to put him in this in this category here, but he should be pretty high here because he is very strong. So let me put him actually here. Next, these are very strong characters. All of these four are very nice, but they lack that little bit to get to the top. Ayaka's brother, right? This one, I don't know. I would normally put him here, but I saw a video of him clearing the one of the latest events very swiftly and in a very big fashion, and was quite impressed by his kit. So, and I almost pulled for him as well, but I just wanted to save my primos, and I would certainly put him in the very nice category, despite not knowing him. I would for now put him in one of those spots of these 5-star characters here. I'm not exactly sure where, but I feel like this could be the place for him. Next up, we have Kuki Shinobu. Very nice design on this one. Kind of a shame that she isn't a little bit stronger, but she's a healer. So as a new player, if you don't have a healer, she might be a very good option for you. So can be useful actually. Just as this Yunjin here, I think we can put her somewhere around here with these healers. I feel like I'm not so sure like which one would be better between those two. This is basically between those four, like here, like it's really a matter of preference, really. So let's just leave it like that. Then we have Yelan, one of the characters that I wanted to pull for, but as well, I didn't have enough primos at the time as well, and didn't have the chance. So actually, I did quite a lot of pull. I just didn't get her, and I ran out. And the thing is that I already have Xingqiu, which is C6, and he's completely, like fully stacked with artifacts and has the best weapons, R5. He doesn't need like the way I felt about her after a while was that I had the initial hype. I was like, holy shit, like new character, like she's a 5-star Xingqiu, like I gotta have her, I gotta have her. But I was like, why? Like I already have him and I'm not even using him anymore. So what's the point of her? But then after like sometimes people started finding ways and how broken she is. She has one of the fastest running in the game as well, which is really nice. And that's one of the things that I miss the most now that I didn't pull for her, is how fast she is. And definitely gonna pull for her next time she comes up. So one of the strongest characters for sure, and would probably put her somewhere up here as well among these other characters here. Okay, next up we have this guy, which I don't even know how he's called because I just did not have any interest whatsoever in him. But I heard and saw some videos, and apparently he's very strong, this guy. He's kind of like an underrated unknown character. So this has to be discovered. He's one of those different anime characters that plays a little bit differently. So that's very interesting, and there's a big question mark on this character, but potentially very strong. So I'm gonna keep him up here on this on top of this little mystery list here. Okay, Kole, a recent character that just came out and introduced Dendro. Very nice character, limited by her kit on purpose by Hoyoverse because she's just a 4-star and she's free and she's the introduction character, so she cannot be that strong. But despite that, when you actually level her up, when you put a little bit of time into her and you learn how to use her kit, she can be very, very strong as a combination with other characters. Like just put her in the team for reactions and you will get incredible results with like hyper bloom teams and stuff like that. So actually very nice character, and I would put her somewhere around here above Keqing because Keqing is the strongest character, but just because her Dendro reactions, when you put her Q in combinations with some of the Hydro characters like Kokomi, she will delete stuff. Like you will actually stuff will actually disappear from the screen. So that's very very nice and something you cannot do as easily with Kaching. Let's be honest. Okay, now we have Dory, a new character that I didn't get the chance to get despite pulling a lot on the Kokomi banner. I didn't get a single copy, so that's a big question mark for me on this one. I don't know at all. But I believe I saw some videos and I don't think she's that strong. So that's why I'm putting her on the lower part of that list there. Travelers, this is I won't be even putting them on the list to be honest, because they are their separate category. They are their own thing. They are an introductory character, and they have different elements. So you would have to rate them depending on their elements, and also like there's not really a point in rating them because everybody has them. You already have them. It's not a question if you're gonna pull for them or not. This is your MC, right? So you either have one of these, and you know you can always come back to it when you're missing an element, or you want to double your element somehow in your team. You can always come back to these and switch their kits accordingly to what you need. So I will just keep them here. We all have them. We all know them. They're good when you need them. But obviously, all the 5-star that I mentioned that are top tier are way better than MC. Always remember that you just want to pull for other characters. And next up we have Tainari, which I haven't used either, so I cannot really talk about. So I would put him down here somewhere, but he's a 5-star, so probably somewhere closer to the top, I guess. Not so sure. I don't know how this you know order should really go. Like just bear with me here. Like I really don't know. So let's just leave it like that. This is not really in order here. I just haven't tried these characters. Have not really formed an opinion on them yet. And then we have some of the new characters which I wanted to comment on, which I also don't know yet, so I won't be putting them onto the list. But actually, having tried Sino in the chamber, I can actually talk about him. And I would actually put him in the same category as Shao here because, well, he's kind of underwhelming, to be honest. He's just a solo player that kind of works to a similar way as Razor does, but not quite. And it doesn't deliver that much damage as it was expected from him. I feel like people were expecting a way more stronger character than he actually currently is. So personally, I would definitely pass on Sino. And then we have Candice, which I would also pass as she the same way as him. She just isn't as strong. She's just lacking a little bit. So it's another one of those that invest in her only if you really like her kit, and only if you like don't have a lot of hydro characters already. Let's say you already have 2 3 hydro characters, Do you need Candace? No, you don't. And just save your materials for other characters, that will come very soon, that you might like more, and that you will actually use more down the line. And then we have Nilou, which is one of those characters that really caught my eye when she came out, when she was first revealed. And I really wanted to pull for her. I started saving primos for her. But then I saw some videos on how her kit worked and was kind of underwhelmed just as well that her kit is very, very niche, one of the most niche kits in the game, and potentially could be very strong, but I don't like to be, confined to play just one type of gameplay or one team composition, and that's basically what she does. So I kind of stopped wanting her, to be honest, despite loving her design. I like her design is really beautiful, really gorgeous, but in the end, I might not pull for her at all. I might give it a couple of shots just to see if I get her with like a lucky pull or something, but I'm not so sure anymore. And I think I will actually save my primos for the next character that isn't here, and that is Nahida, the little Archon, Dendro Archon that's coming up next. And why I believe she will be actually one of the strongest characters in the game and will go into this top tier here is that she is an Archon, first of all, and second of all, little clues like this, she has the same eyes as Hu Tao, if you notice. She has those same little flowers in her eyes as Hu Tao. And Hu Tao is one of the strongest characters in the game, if not the strongest in terms of pure damage. So I am expecting very similar things from Nahida. So if you're like me and you're undecided and you're kind of like on the fence with the latest characters, I would say wait for Nahida. I think Nahida is gonna be a game changer, and she's gonna surprise a lot of people. There's also a reason why she has the biggest portrait on the banner, or like the game launcher, if you will, the new one, right, of the latest version. It's little clues like that that you have to notice when they release new characters, that really gives you clues on which characters are actually stronger than the others, right? So to finish this, Nailu, since I don't know her, but I feel like she will be strong, she will be useful, and she will be very nice, I would actually put her somewhere on top of here. But I'm not sure, since we don't have her yet, exactly where she will be positioned. But let's just put her right there for now and see what happens, right? Like she will be strong, but she will be limited to some degree. So I personally will go for Nahida. That's who I'm saving my primos for next, and yeah, I think you should too, definitely. So I hope this has been helpful somehow to not only new players but also players that might not have some of these characters and want to know more about, or like an opinion from someone who's been playing the game since day one. And yeah, this was my first tier list. I had fun doing it, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you didn't, leave a dislike. And have a good day, and see you in the next one. Peace.